We're on a very busy Tuesday night, and we begin tonight with that new warning from the CDC about the coronavirus here in the U.S., saying it is not a question of if, but when, and saying Americans should prepare. Tonight, the CDC reports the number of those sick stands at 57 in the U.S.,
Listen
all
up.
of them in quarantine and in treatment. The warning comes in part after the virus spread quickly across several towns in Italy. More than 200 cases reported. At least 10 people have died. And an Italian tourist testing positive on a Spanish resort island, a large hotel with 1,000 guests now on lockdown inside.
Wow.
And look at this tonight. In Iran, the deputy health minister testing positive for the virus after appearing visibly ill during a news conference meant to calm nerves about the outbreak.
Wow.
President Trump tonight saying he thinks it's going to work out fine, but lawmakers on the Hill asking questions. We begin with ABC's Steve Osunsami at the CDC in Atlanta.
U.S. health authorities tonight say there's no doubt we'll see more of this. Americans sick with the coronavirus who need to be kept in isolation.
The doors are specially sealed.
Carl Goldman is one of 57 Americans fighting the disease.
We are asking the American public to work with us to prepare in the expectation that this could be bad.
In their most clear warning yet, the CDC all but promises that the coronavirus will spread here and that Americans need to prepare.
We expect we will see community spread in this country. It's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when this will happen and how many people in this country will have severe illness. We really want to prepare the American public for the possibility that their lives will be disrupted because of this pandemic.
At a 3M factory in South Dakota where they make masks and respirators that help protect from the disease, they're working 24/7 and still can't produce them fast enough.
We're told by the experts, NIH, CDC, that there is a very strong chance of an extremely serious outbreak of the coronavirus here in the United States.
In a hearing in Washington today, the government shared that it could need about 300 million respirators to be used by healthcare workers, but only has about 30 million on hand. That didn't go over well.
Sorry,
You're head of Homeland Security. Do we have enough respirators or not?
What has authorities alarmed are the clusters of outbreaks happening outside of Asia that are not directly connected to Asia. On the Canary Islands off the eastern coast of Africa, more than 1,000 tourists are trapped in a hotel because an Italian guest came down with the virus. In Italy, more than 322 confirmed cases with 10 people dead, and they haven't even found the source of the outbreak. In Iran, at least 15 people were killed by the virus and nearly 100 are sick, including this health minister, who yesterday was on camera downplaying the danger as he's seen coughing and wiping his brow. Today he learned he too has the coronavirus. The Trump administration today was trying to bring calm to both the panic and the economic markets. Stocks are down today again.
We have contained this, I won't say airtight, but pretty close to airtight.
The president says they're throwing everything at this.
Very well under control in our country. We have very few people with it. The people are getting better. They're all getting better.
They're hoping the virus dies out with warm weather.
And so let's get to Steve Osunsami with us tonight outside the CDC. And Steve, I know we learned late today that some American college students studying abroad are now coming home from Italy tonight, at least one university.
That's right, David. Syracuse University is suspending its study abroad program because of the coronavirus in Florence, Italy. This affects some 342 students who they now have to bring home, make arrangements to get them back to the U.S. Currently, the U.S. government has no travel restrictions to Italy because of the coronavirus.
All right. Steve Osunsami tonight. Steve, thank you. We know a lot of you at home have questions tonight, so let's get right to our medical editor, Dr. Jen Ashton. And Jen, that warning from the CDC that Americans should prepare, they said not if, but when. This sounds alarming, so let's try to reassure some folks at home tonight who are going to want to know the numbers, the severity, how this is affecting people, what we know so far.
Well, we still don't know the exact numbers worldwide, David, with countries like China and Iran likely not fully reporting, and other countries may not be capable of reporting. But of the cases we do know, it appears that 3% cause critical disease, 15% cause severe symptoms, and about 82% then cause mild infection.
82%. That's going to be encouraging for people watching tonight. And when you heard the CDC warning that American families should prepare, I assume they don't mean a run on grocery stores right now. What are they hoping for?
Yeah, I don't think they meant to rush out to the grocery store, David. I think that some common sense precautions do apply here. Go down a mental checklist to make sure that you're ready. Reach out to some school contacts if you have children in school about any possible contingency plans that might include child care providers, and stock up on a few home supplies just so that you're not doing this at the last minute. I think it's really important now to act based on evidence, not emotion.
All right, Jen Ashton with us tonight. Dr. Ashton, thank you. And this warning from the CDC fueling new fears on Wall Street. The Dow plunging for a second day now, falling 879 points, nearly 2,000 points in 2 days. So let's get right to ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis. She's live at the New York Stock Exchange again tonight. Rebecca?
Good evening to you, David. That's right. In just the last 2 days, the Dow has lost 1,910 points, and U.S. stocks have wiped out $1.7 trillion in value. Some of the hardest hit companies are those airline stocks, down 12% in the last 2 days. United, American, and Delta alone have wiped out about $6 billion in their value. And Apple, a company that's in a lot of retirement savings accounts and a lot of 401ks out there, is now down, David, 12% from the all-time high it hit earlier this month. David?
The ripple effect being felt again tonight. Rebecca, thank you. In the meantime, we're going to turn next tonight to the race for 2020 and the high stakes.
That is very, very serious. This is unveiling itself in a very, very harsh way. A way that may very well be, just look at that. Look at that loss in 2 days. Unheard of. It has gone down almost 2,000 points in the negative, which is $1.7 trillion. That is absolutely unheard of. Unheard of. In 2 days. It has hit an all-time record. We talk about the record towards it going up. It has hit an all-time record towards it going down. We have never seen a drop like this. So this is saying to your investors that's now got the jitters, this is saying it's producing negative energy pertaining to the crisis of the coronavirus that may go beyond anything comprehensible that we've ever even thought about. I was heard on one of the news channels today, over in China, where they're now burning all their paper material, thinking that the disease, the virus is now seizing onto countertops and paper, and they're burning paper, trying to think that they can dissolve the disease that way. Now, I don't know how true that was, because we're getting a lot of messed up messages coming from China, as well as their numbers game in the regard of how serious that this really is. Once more, this thing got unleashed, this virus, in December, and it didn't become publicly known until the first week of April. And it was only until the second week of April until they started advertising it on international TV. So what is happening here is just mind-boggling in ways, and to think that that they're now talking about being 30,000 masks short here in America. They're requesting $2.5 billion to be put out on the table that is set aside for war, natural catastrophes, and stuff like this right here. So yes, this has reached an area now of severity, especially whenever the CDC puts out a warning that it's not a matter of if America is going to be hit, but when and how bad America is going to be hit. So it's reaching levels that we haven't seen in quite some times. Even the other diseases that we had to deal with years ago that we've seen has not spread this viciously and this lethally all over the globe like we're seeing right now. And it's become an American public health issue. You see what it's saying right there? We really want to prepare the American public for the possibility. They're stressing this, that their lives will be disrupted.
Because of this pandemic.
At a 3M
And they're already calling it a pandemic.
factory in South Dakota where they make masks and respirators that help protect from the disease, they're working 24/7 and still can't
24/7 and still
can't
can't
produce them fast enough.
produce them fast enough.
We're told by the experts at NIH, CDC, that there is a very strong chance of an extremely serious outbreak of the coronavirus here in the United States.
In a hearing in Washington today, the government shared that it could need about 300 million respirators to be used by healthcare workers, but only has about 30 million on hand. That didn't go over well.
You're head of Homeland Security. Do we have enough respirators or not?
What has authorities alarmed are the clusters of outbreaks happening outside of Asia that are not directly connected to Asia. On the Canary Islands off the eastern coast of Africa, more than 1,000 tourists are trapped in a hotel because an Italian guest came down with the virus. In Italy, more than 322 confirmed cases, with 10 people dead, and they haven't even found the source of the outbreak. In Iran, at least 15 people were killed by the virus and nearly 100 are sick, including this health minister, who yesterday was on camera downplaying the danger as he's seen coughing and wiping his brow. Today he learned he too has the coronavirus.
Wow. But yet now we got a president that's ignoring it and saying that everything's going to be fine. Listen to this.
The Trump administration today was trying to bring calm to both the panic and the economic markets. Stocks are down today again.
We have contained this, I won't say airtight, but pretty close to airtight.
The president says they're throwing everything at this.
Very well under control in our country. We have very few people with it. The people are getting better. They're all getting better.
They're hoping.
So once more, we're having contradictory statements coming out of the president, similar towards what he says about global warming. How come? How come people can't call white white and black black? How come people can't be a straight shooter in advising the world of the facts? Not so-called facts. Not the diluted truth or the distorted truth, which is nothing more than a lie. It is so sad. So sad. Good luck to all of us.